You're entering VTV's Chamber Zone. Your business community at work. Representing the Vernal area and Duchesne County Chambers of Commerce, here's Adam Massey and Irene Hansen.
Hello, I'm Irene Hansen with the Duchesne County Chamber of Commerce. My co-host is Adam Massey, who is not with me today, but I have a very special guest, Bob Peterson, the Vice President of Student Services and Marketing. I want to get that all correct. And Bob, what a pleasure to have you. We have been good friends for a long time, and we have seen a lot of changes in the Uinta Basin.
Oh.
And my statement I always use is that we're the envy of rural America, but you made a statement when we come on that when it comes to education, we are the envy of Utah. Oh. And so tell us about that. And this is going to go so fast we won't be able to get half it in, but the Applied Technology Center is they're rock stars.
Yeah, really
Tell us a little bit about what makes us the envy of America and of Utah.
Well, first I want to say it's a pleasure to be with you on this program, and not everybody gets on the Chamber Zone, so I feel like a celebrity in Adam's chair, so
well,
thank you for having me
You
here.
are a celebrity.
Irene, you're right. I mean, we use that word quite often, being envied by other areas of the state. We're so fortunate. I think it speaks so well of our community leaders, you included, of the vision that's in place, from commissioners to city councilmen, council people, on what takes place as far as education.
Yes.
And you look at the stalwarts in the communities, the Alva Snows, the Dan Dennises, the Gail McCackneys, the Bob Foley's. You could go on and see what's been laid in place for the two institutions, be it USU and UBATC, where I'm representing now. Unbelievable. And as we travel around the state, and industry-driven programs that UBATC offers, we're out and about on a monthly basis under President Waite's directive to visit with industry. What do you need? And we build the programs to serve our people of the basin with their employment needs.
You know, I know this is crazy, but I would say that if you've lived here more than 5 years in the basin, that you have been touched by the Applied Technology Center, whether you've gone there yourself, whether you've had a son, daughter, or grandchild.
Oh, absolutely.
But you have been touched because the Applied Technology Center is like this breathing organism, and when there's a need in the community, it doesn't matter if it's a leadership need, if it's more real estate agents, if it's post-certification, the Applied Technology Center can move quickly, and it rises up, provides that training so that people don't have to leave and travel long distances to go get that. One of the most successful programs, and I always smile whenever I see it, is the truck driving program. Well, there's no better way to build a very strong career here than in truck driving, and you guys have had a successful truck driving program, but these things don't just happen. What type of leadership does it take to keep something like that going?
Well, you're absolutely right, and I think that is our niche at the technology colleges throughout the state, is to go out and entertain the needs. And the key is, I think, Irene, is the advisory committees that each program has in place. These are made up of members of industry, and we're talking about CDL. These are truck driving companies that we have representatives from those companies join us in meetings 2 or 3 times a year. This is what our needs are. This is what industry is doing now, and then we adapt, create the curriculum to fit those needs, the truck driving needs. So, and it fluctuates. I mean, here we're looking at oil barrel prices down significantly.
Yes.
What does that mean for some of our programs? Well, we have some programs that might be affected by that. So what do? Industry leaders, come tell us what you need now. I mean, some of these programs we're doing now may not materialize in the next 6 months or a year, so let's move on to find something else that is needed by your industry. We have a population base, Irene, in the basin, 50,000. 2013, we saw 7,000 individuals, more than 7,000 individuals come through our doors.
I believe it.
Now, 7,000 out of 50,000 is quite, now some of those are duplicates.
That's more than 10%,
but
though.
a lot of people cross our threshold, so.
Wow.
It's interesting.
And not only that, but we have found the Applied Technology College a leader in vision. You know, if I want to get a pulse on the community, if I want to talk about something out of the box, a paradigm shift, I know that I can approach the leaders, President Waite, yourself, or others, and we call them into meetings on a regular basis because they have the pulse on the economy, on students. And I think the other thing, I talked earlier this month with Dr. Edwards about what's it like to be in an environment where you may have a 60-year-old grandmother coming back to learn QuickBooks, but you also have a 16-year-old young person, maybe her grandson or great-grandson, coming from walking over from Union High School to take a class too. Yeah. What's it like to be in that environment? I mean, I would have a ball.
Well, number one, it's embarrassing when the 16-year-old, when you grab a student in the audience and ask them to come over and help you with your iPad, right? but it's really cool when you have the older student there and seeing their aspirations to learn a new skill. And you can do so relatively quickly at our school and go out and improve yourself and enhance your wages.
Well, I'll tell you, we have been so lucky. You know, in our next segment, we're going to talk about the future because, again, I think the thing with education, they're always looking at learning from the past, seeing what worked, looking at the present, what do we need to do to stay viable and to be an important part of what's going on right now, but then also looking way down the line and saying, what's the future? What is the future of education? How is this thing going to be molded? So in our very next segment, we're going to come right back and talk about that vision with Bob Peterson from the Applied Technology Center. Please join us in just a moment.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
Welcome back to Chamber Zone, your business community at work. Well, needless to say, on the break, I have to bring up grandkids. But you know what? I do have grandkids in the Duchesne County School District. And, you know, I have a granddaughter that will be in high school in a couple of years. And I'm already getting her psyched up. You know, you've got to take classes at the Applied Technology College because I know how successful that made my children. Who basically left high school and none of them went to work in an entry-level position because of those skills that they had from the Applied Technology College. And so with that, tell us about concurrent enrollment. And Duchesne County, again, were the envy of Utah in how that's done. The campus, both in Roosevelt and Vernal, sitting right next to the high school. Tell us what's going on with concurrent enrollment.
Well, I wouldn't have my job where I'm at now, starting out at USU and now at UBATC, without the significance of concurrent enrollment.
Right.
And half of us employed there. We cater significantly to our secondary students. And they're our primary recruitment source.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're absolutely right. Having a grandchild in place of taking advantage of the offerings at UBATC is crucial. They establish confidence there. They establish really what they're going to be doing on, you know, later on in their life, and that could be moving on into higher education.
Oh, absolutely.
Or in our area, UBATC functions so well in giving them the skills they need to stay right here at home. Yeah. And that's part of your job, is to keep people here and build that economic base to where they do have a sustaining job here locally. They're very crucial to our existence. They're our recruitment source. We love the relationships. Union has always been significantly in place with that relationship with UBATC, and now obviously Uinta as well. But UBATC got its roots from Roosevelt, so they've had a few more years practicing being friends together, and now Uinta is the same way. It's just a great relationship with all the institutions involved. You
know, I can remember as we've had everything from accountants to doctors. These are people that you want in your community. And when they look, one of those things that they look at is education. What are my kids and grandkids going to be able to have here in order to become successful? And when I tell them about what's available at the Applied Technology College, I'll be honest with you, some of them I don't think can even believe me. They have to come and see for themselves. But, you know, in preparation for this meeting today, you know, I went online and it got me excited all over again, just because of now, not only can you take what's offered here, but because of technology, you guys can even bring in special special classes that are being taught in other places. We have custom fit, where we can bring in a company for a one-time training. Tell us a little bit about how all of that, how is technology changing how you teach?
Well, it's a huge coordination efforts with a lot of entities. And USU obviously has been at that for a long time, and they're probably the masters of that throughout the state, and the IVC compatibility they have with all areas of the state. We're looking to do more of that. We have IVC capabilities as well. Many of our programs are hands-on, so you have to be in place with laboratory work and out in the field. So it's not as prominent with us yet as it is with USU, but it's getting that way. And electronics, we're looking at hybrid courses where you can do things at home, and you've got your computer at home, you can do much of the work at home, then come into the classroom. So we're looking at doing that for our very busy population who have full-time jobs. If they can do some of that work outside the classroom and then come to the classroom lesser times, we're looking at those possibilities as well.
Well, you know, one thing that comes to mind is scholarships. And I'll tell you, Duchesne County, the Uinta Basin has led the way in realizing that nothing opens up opportunity more than having a partner to help you. And it's absolutely, I know that we've had very generous business leaders. Duchesne County just made a substantial donation towards scholarships. Nothing opens up doors more than the opportunity without taking on a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And so how does that scholarship, how would someone come in if they just literally are just watching this today and saying, that could be me, I could go in and get a certificate. How do they start? Do they just walk through the door? How would they start?
They walk through the door, and hopefully any employee at UBATC is going to welcome them, take them by the hand if necessary, and say, let me help you where you get started. Come over to the front office, talk about what your needs are, what you'd want to be skilled in, and we'll line you up with financial aid immediately. We'll get paperwork being started, and thank goodness for Uinta County, Duchesne County leaders and residents offering so much in the way of scholarships. And you're right, the recent announcement by Duchesne County significantly helps these students come in and pay for. Sometimes UBATC pays their entire training.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
So folks, if you're out there, come in, let us help you fill out the paperwork. Within a week's time you can be in a class.
Wow.
Sometimes it's the next day, and we try to react, try to get all the paperwork processed in that short a time, but we would like to have at least a week's time to process all the paperwork. But all your financial aid is going to be in place. A little different than the USU side, where a lot of things are transpiring with Logan's campus.
Right.
We do it here locally.
Wow.
So it speeds things up a little easier, and classes are starting all the time. So a lot of open entry, open exit classes as compared to the regular cohorts that the university has.
And again, whether industry, different times, education is affected, of course, by the economy. But when things are very, very busy, we know that companies are coming to the Applied Technology College to help their employees raise their skill level.
That's a huge
However,
part.
when things are a little bit slower, then they're also coming to the Applied Technology Center because now I have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Or maybe that employee who was working 55 hours a week is now working 45, a perfect time for them to continue their education. Well, I'll tell you, we are at the end of Chamber Zone, but please check out your local education opportunities, and we'll see you next time right here on VTV Channel 6.